It's Monday, September 12th, 2011. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geek Nights. Tonight, the tech news that wasn't.
Let's do this.
I met BK on Sunday, and...
How many pirates did he have with him? 9?
9 pirates with like 8 hit points each.
If you just level up a little bit, they can't touch you.
No, I'm saying 9 hit points, Scott. I'm saying I can beat those pirates at level 2. Yeah. In fact, I was playing Final Fantasy 1 the other day. You know what?
Why?
I leveled because Emily never seen it. Okay. Like the original real deal 1 without any of the gimping or the graphic remakes or anything.
All right.
And I realized some things that are now quite archaic. You realize most people have never seen the words hold reset while you turn off the power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, level 2 is all you need to beat Garland.
Yeah, well, to beat Garland, yeah.
And the pirates, way weaker than Garland.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them, though.
Yeah, and you're guaranteed to kill 3 of them on the first round.
Oh, that's right, because you're all fighter, red mage, whatever.
I either play fighter, red mage, white mage, because black mage actually kind of sucks, and magic actually kind of sucks later in the game like that. Or fighter, black belt, red mage, white mage. Or fighter, black mage, white mage. Any one of those combinations is awesome. And yeah,
I like to do fighter, black belt, black mage, white mage. I'm not a red mage fan.
See, the thing is, the red mage is pretty damn good because the mid-game is when you need all those spells. You need to be able to cast Lit 2 a bunch. Actually,
yeah, but the point is, would you rather, at the end of the game, have the red mage or the black mage?
Neither one. They're both, the black mage is completely useless at the end of the game because whatever his spells are, they're nothing compared to the damage a fighter or a black belt does.
That's right.
So really, the best party would be fighter, red mage, white mage.
No.
I beat the game with that party.
Why don't you beat the game then with fighter, black belt, white mage?
Because you need black magic in the early to mid game. Lit 2 on the boat is critical.
Right, and what I'm saying is even though the magic is weak in the end game, right? The black mage's black magic will be slightly better at the end game than the red mage's black magic.
It doesn't matter because it's the difference at the end game. The red mage does more damage with his fucking sword than the black mage will ever do.
I don't know about that.
Scott, I played the ever-living fuck out of Final Fantasy 1 when I was a kid.
The red mage sword is not really that good.
I've beaten it
it's
more
not
than
a fighter
10 times
sword.
From scratch. In fact, you know who I give the fucking Masamune to?
The white mage, because you're...
No, the white mage has Thor's hammer. The white mage doesn't attack. Anyway.
I know that. I'm just trying to be...
Yeah. Give it to the thief.
Yeah. Who uses the fucking thief at all? No, it's like we were arguing over here about like changing between, right? But it's like, no one uses thief. Who uses thief? Nobody.
The first time I played the game, not knowing any better, I used the thief because I was like, oh, he can totally run away and I can avoid fights. Then I didn't level up and then...
The thief can't do anything.
Now he can wield there's one weapon he can wield.
Great.
Anyway. That weapon, you don't get it till the end of the game. Oh, he can cast some shitty, like, first and second level black magic, too, when he's a ninja.
Awesome.
So, no, I got a bike. Well, I ordered a bike. And, my bike got stolen a while ago, so just got to buy a new bike. And I realize now buying a bike in the fall is kind of awesome because much like cars, higher-end bikes have model years, and they're trying to get rid of the 2011 models.
Well, you did the same thing with skis.
Yes, I did. And you know what? I spent half what I could have spent on skis. Like,
see, this is the thing. In the world, there are many seasonal goods, such as fruits. Right? But the problem with fruits is that they spoil. So you can only buy them in season. When they're out of season, you don't want to buy the fruit at all.
Now, my skis do turn black and eventually rot. That doesn't happen.
Right. But there are certain other things that also have seasons, such as clothing and sporting goods. But
yet, how come no one has any foresight? How come every store is selling shorts at like 80% off around now? It's like, do they not understand that I can buy my shorts now and not buy them in the summer? Or do the majority of people not have such simple foresight?
Well, it's not only that, but it's that next year, people who actually care about clothes, the fashion will change. So the shorts that, so even if they wanted to get the shorts now to save money, those shorts are no good for them next year.
Oh, true. No good for fashion-y people, but Walmart does this.
Yeah.
There's no fashion in Walmart.
You'd be surprised.
There's no fashion there.
Anyway, but sporting goods, right? They also have seasons.
Now, here's the thing.
So if you want to buy skis in the winter, when people are skiing, you're going to pay a lot of money.
The 2012 bikes are better overall than the 2011
by
bikes.
a very slim margin that won't matter to you.
The margin is not something I believe a human could perceive, especially this time around. So, I test rode a whole bunch of bikes, and to not belabor the point, I used to always ride a 19-inch frame mountain bike. Totally not suitable to the city.
Yeah.
I got a 22-inch street bike, like a performance hybrid before, but I did not know what I needed, and that was the bike that was recommended. It was pretty great for what it was. But having ridden street bikes for a while now, and now I know the deal with them, which is way different from all the biking I've ever known in my life, I knew what I wanted, and I test drove a whole bunch of bikes, and I'm getting a pretty fucking awesome bike, I think.
That'll just get stolen again.
No, because I'm never going to park it outside.
And you're never going to use it.
I'm going to use it a lot, but only for recreational biking or biking to work, where I can just park it in my fucking office.
Oh, you got a better office now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, getting a bike.
So, woman.
It's kind of warm out.
Not where I'm working.
The odyssey continues.
So I'm sitting in this office, and the office is so freaking cold.
How cold is it?
I'm wearing my winter hat and my hoodie, and I'm still cold.
Actually?
Yeah, and look, I got winter socks on. I'm still cold.
Scott, you should file an HR complaint.
We did. We talked to the HR guy.
File a complaint. Say it's not healthy. Say you're not going to come into the office.
My throat is like scratchy from being.
Tell
in
him
the
it's too cold.
office.
You have to work from home.
I don't know. Actually, I might legitimately be slightly sick from being in the cold office.
Don't you get me sick.
It's just scratchy throat.
I kind of want to go to Wildwood this weekend if that is an option.
I would also take that option. There's nothing that heals cold like a warm beach.
And some orangey.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. But it's like, goddamn, it's cold.
So this is an issue that comes up a lot. Many times in the tech world, a tech company will run afoul of some stupid-ass law in some backwater country. And because they're an international company that cares about, growth markets or emerging markets or whatever, they'll either cave into this bullshit demand or they'll partition things, people to handle it different ways.
I'm really hating this, right? This happens a lot where, a company makes a product, but because they're an internet company, that product goes to the whole world. And one country says, oh, your product breaks our law in our country, so you have to change it. So suddenly you got the rest of the world that doesn't have this stupid law is suffering with a shittier product because they have to change it for this one country that they care about. Or what happens is they'll start diversifying and there'll be two versions of the product, and now the company is suffering because they had to spend more money maintaining multiple versions.
The way the internet works, Google is a big example of this. So they have Google, Korea Google, and Germany Google, and France Google. Those Google portals follow all the rules of whatever country they're in because they do whatever business they do in that country. But they don't ever compromise on the functionality of the real Google, which it's interesting that the U.S., despite all the bullshit we go through, is pretty much the only country I trust with any internet anything when it comes to free speech of any kind. Well, yeah, considering most of the internet is here anyway.
Well, at least the free speech, but not when it comes, right? But it's weird because, if it's a straight up free speech issue, like someone has a political website or something, you'll always win in the U.S., but
if it's copyright,
they will allow people to have chilling effects via other avenues. You can use intellectual property laws to chill free speech because it's not viewed as a free speech issue.
Yep.
But if you can make it a free speech issue, you can win.
But anyway, tonight's backwater country is Worst Korea. South Korea has a law.
Well, it's the less worst Korea.
No, Scott, this is a meme you obviously are unaware of.
Oh.
North Korea is best Korea.
Okay. Great. Like Rarity's best pony?
Rarity is pretty good.
Sure. Like North Korea.
Anyway, so Korea has this stupid law that has to do with defamation that takes effect on, I believe, April 1st.
Well, I mean, it's
for any site above a certain number of unique visitors per day. And the deal is...
At least they're limiting it that way and not imposing it on every site, period.
But the deal is they require anyone who's commenting to post their real name and their national ID card number. Now, I got to back up a little bit here. I've run afoul of this before. So has Scott. In fact, back at RIT, we liked to play weird online games, and many of them happen to be from Korea.
Yeah, because when you're in college, you learn about all this weird shit, and it's like, we know that the rest of the world has a lot of cool things that we want, especially, the Asian world, in Japan and South Korea, and, they have lots of cool things in games that we want that we can't get. So we had some friends who would go out of their way to get these things, and they tried to play Korean MMOs, and in order to do so, you need a Korean national ID number, which is basically a social security number.
Now, here's the fucked up part. I'm going to grossly generalize, but basically, it's like the equivalent of a social security number. And if you're a Korean citizen, you've got one. There's data coded into the number. For example, you can determine from a number if someone is male or female. Mm-hmm. Many Korean online games require this number to even make an account. So it would be the equivalent of you have to publicly tie your SSN to your World of Warcraft account with your real name, or you cannot play.
And then some of the games went even further, is you could not play as the gender that you were not. So if you're a dude, you have to play as a dude. You can't be a girl.
This is because
game.
Korea is kind of fucked up.
Right. It's like, South Korea is still pretty cool overall. But, much like the UK, which has scary police state cameras everywhere and stuff like that.
Or Australia, which, if you look at just their internet law, is a fascist state, but the rest of their law is pretty...
Well, also video game censorship, right? But,
yeah.
Korea, while we think it's all pretty cool with their, GGG and
KKK
and their StarCraft, has plenty of... their share of, fucked up shit.
So...
And we have fucked up airports and stuff like that,
And I just point out, as always, Google is doing the best thing they can do because they have a real business presence in Korea that they can't extricate themselves from. They do stuff there. So they're fully complying with Korean law only on the tiny Korean version of Google and YouTube. And anyone in Korea can just post a video to regular YouTube where all the normal internet citizens live, and they don't have to deal with this BS.
But normal YouTube's in English. If they don't speak it, they're in trouble.
Yeah, this is a broader problem that really I'm feeling more and more that the U.S. internet in English is in some ways like surprisingly partitioned from the rest of the world's internet, just for the fact that most countries have these weird laws and these other services that comply with these laws, but kind of the consensus reality is in English, mostly hosted in the U.S.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like this thing goes both ways, right? On the one hand, you have the, you want to operate worldwide, one country's laws suddenly affect you everywhere. But on the other hand, you have the reverse, which is, I'm not in your country, screw you. Like, VLC is hosted on some servers in France where it's okay, right?
I don't want a global regulatory body because I don't trust the majority of countries, let alone the majority of people.
I think what we need is a country-related regulatory body, an internet government that is the government of the internet.
Now, I agree in principle, Scott. I agree that the internet as a culture, as an entity, should be a politically distinct unit. But
when that internet government is formed, it would immediately declare war against anyone who did not comply. So China, Korea, and Australia.
How the fuck do we have an internet election to see who is president of the internet?
If this was a fictional novel of the cyberpunk genre,
all right,
it would go something along these lines.
A guy with a nuke in his motorcycle.
No. Some guy wins a mega lottery or something, or maybe he starts some company
and lives in space.
No.
Or Antarctica.
And he buys, with that money, eventually, Cisco, AT&T, Verizon, and Sprint.
Scott, I think there's a better way to go about it. I don't have it anymore. It's on that hard drive. But in high school, I wrote a short fiction. A science fiction.
A cyberpunk internet government fiction?
No, so the opening scene was basically one day, I think I've said this on the show before, at like 11:08, or no, it was like right during morning rush hour in every major city in the world.
1990, whatever, the end day.
Yeah, it was set in 20-something.
It wasn't the
20X XDX.
It wasn't the end day?
No, October, whatever, 1997.
Yeah.
I marched in a football game parade that day.
Okay.
Anyway, that on that morning, suddenly at every major intersection in every major city in the world.
All right, you push a shopping cart.
Yeah, a shopping cart full of gallon jugs of milk got shoved into the intersection.
Yeah.
And then a missive that was it was cryptographically signed, came from the internet declaring sovereignty. And then there was a whole cyber war following. And eventually the internet got a distributed anonymous seat, kind of like L in the first part of Death Note at the UN.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. However, that requires punk kids like 4chaners to organize cohesively.
And be in greater numbers. The problem is the internet makes everything look bigger than it really is.
But at the same time, so does terrorism.
It sure does.
And I like the idea of prankful terrorism.
Yeah, not killing people's good.
Like one way not anonymous, but something like anonymous, I'm going to say lowercase anonymous, could start something like this would be to say, have a symbol that's fairly simple to make, that's generally
They've got
agreed
like 100
upon.
of them.
And then, yeah, but you need one that's generally agreed upon.
Troll face?
That isn't the troll face with the fucking V mask. And one day, it just starts getting graffitied fucking everywhere.
All right.
Anyway.
Great. Vandalism, that'll help.
Yeah, but it will in that it'll scare people a little bit. Anyway, we digress. That's a show topic.
Sure.
But you know what, Korea? Fuck you.
That's right.
That's the moral of this story.
So check out this, right? So some researchers, and thankfully I guess it was researchers, depending on who you are, right? They bought a bunch of domains, which is perfectly okay. You can buy domains if you want.
You can.
But they bought domains that were slight misspellings of popular domains, right?
So instead of Experts Exchange, it was Expert Sex Change.
That's exactly the same spelling.
I know.
Instead of frontrowcrew.com, it was frontrowcraw.com, right?
Well, the other day, I accidentally typed YouTube.
Yeah.
And you know what I went to?
YouTube.
The same thing? No. I went to horrible malware site.
Oh, because Google actually owns a lot of misspellings.
Yeah, but they don't own all of them. They don't own YouTube.
So what they did is something that a lot of campers and squatters of misspellings don't do, is they actually set stuff up on those servers. And what they set up was not websites. Who wants websites? They set up email servers. So they pointed the MX records of all these misspelled domains at a mail server and started collecting email, where the person sending the email mistyped the domain. So, for example, maybe somebody accidentally sent an email that was meant for me to me@frontrowcraw.com, and this guy owned the domain and got it on his mail server, so now you thought you were emailing me, but you emailed this other guy.
Now, what's interesting is that I don't honestly believe that there should be any legal problem with doing this.
Oh, there isn't.
Yeah.
I don't think there is, but it is a major security vulnerability. For example, right, some of the examples they give her, like IBM, where people would do like subdomains. So what would happen is instead of sending an email to like us.ibm.com, it would go to usibm.com. So what happens is a lot of people are dumb and they send things in email that they shouldn't.
Now, there's two ways around this. One, the fuck are you doing ever typing an email address?
Yeah,
seriously, what the
true.
fuck are you ever gonna... If you're typing an email address, you've already done something wrong.
Right, also, but I mean, what if, say, example, I click a mail to or a contact form and the guy who coded the contact form mistyped the email address?
Well, then that's point two.
Right.
If someone else caused the problem, the fuck are you doing sending anything important that could fuck you in an email?
That's definitely the big problem. But
I mean,
but
you know,
for
I work for
example,
broker-dealers. If you mailed a password and a credential in the same email,
what the fuck?
Let alone a password in the same email, you were fired.
What if you sign up for Steam, right, or something like Amazon, right, and you, when you're signing up, put in the wrong email, and now that sign-up mail that lets the person get into the account is going to some other domain. Now that guy can reset the password on your account and he's got your account.
Now, luckily, most of those sites require you to confirm the email address before you can do anything.
Right, so the guy confirms it because he gets the original email.
Yep.
Because you typed it wrong on registration.
Not so lucky now, is it? Now, if he's really evil, he then forwards on a confirmation to you and pass a pass-through, so all the mail that you think that you should be getting, you really are getting. So he's transparently in your business, ready to take your credit card as soon as you've added it.
Yep. So now, you know, obviously, if you're smart like us, this isn't going to hurt you because why are you typing an email? Why are you sending something in, right? But if you're a gigantic mega corporation with thousands of employees, you can't keep them all from being dumb. So some things you can do, for example, you know that your company is Front Row Crew. So you, in your local DNS records at your company, you prevent employees from sending emails to the common misspellings of Front Row Crew by directing the IP or, you know, something like that. But that only goes so far. Stupidity can still beat you. And people, you know, from other companies sending email to your company can still, you know, screw up. But
one difference here is that with the post office, there's at some point a human being looks at the envelope and goes, wait a minute, this guy clearly meant Shady Lane, not Shady
That's if the computer can't. That's only if the computer can't read it.
Yeah, but at the same time, you also can't, like, It's not what you put up a cardboard house next to the real house with the misspelling on the street. It's like shady power book.
Yeah. Power books are sure are shady.
I don't know what to do about the problem. I mean, you could do some sort of exchange identity trust where kind of like how, not to talk about the technical details of it because this is just the news, not a show. When in Firefox, you're typing in a URL and there's a certificate for that domain, it shows up in green or not green, depending on
There's
whether
a real
or not.
simple answer. Is if you just encrypted the emails.
Oh yeah, but that is beyond the vast majority of humans.
With like PGP.
We have had relatively trivial identity trust and encryption integrated into mail fairly readily if you're reasonably technically proficient.
If you really care and you're willing to put forth a little bit of effort.
It's so little. Dude, you want to email Will Wheaton? A lot of you might have ever tried to email him in the past. You know what? Go to his website. There's his public key. He won't read email that isn't at least signed.
Yeah. So if you want to send email and encrypt it properly and maybe get Will Wheaton to read it, right? Go and get a public key with PGP. And there's a Firefox plugin. I don't know if it still exists. It used to exist called Fire PGP. And it would add PGP to your Gmail, and basically all you do is when you want to send a Gmail to someone, you push a few buttons extra when sending the email and when receiving the email, and it'll be so encrypted no government on earth can read it, and only the person you are sending it to will be able to read it. And if you type the email address wrong, the person who gets it, that's the wrong person, won't be able to read anything.
Here's the problem. You need the people you're sending the mail to also
use the same thing.
And this is why this is impossible.
That's right. But if you actually care and you coordinate with people, you can use this. I've used it in the past.
Yep. But I'll warn you, it's not going to happen on any reasonable scale in the next 40 years.
Maybe I'm working on ways to make encryption happen without the user having to do as much key copying and such.
But anyway, things of the day. What do you got for me?
I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before. I feel like I have, but there has been some changes to this department, so I think it is okay to mention it and do it again, even though it may have been discussed in the past.
All right.
There is a website called If This Then That, and it's actually the URL is if, so if.
We've talked about it on the show. I've been using it for a while. And
TTT, so if this then that. If
I'm going to stop
TTT.
using it because everything I thought that would be cool to do with it has not turned out the way I wanted.
Really? All my stuff's working out pretty good. And has been working pretty good for a long time.
I was mostly using it to capture links people tweeted of people I followed or things that people sent to me to then like have thing of the day fodder. But it caught so much bullshit, it wasn't even worth it.
Well, I think that's because you set it up to catch so much bullshit. Like, I'm using it to, like, basically forward things between services, right? So if I post a photo to Flickr, it'll tweet it. Or if I, post
See, I can't do that because the way I post photos is once a month, I take my, 400 photos and upload them all at once to Flickr.
Mm-hmm. You just have to configure it to, to match your personal
I'm saying
whatever.
That the amount of configuration it takes to match what I want, what I do normally, is more work and effort and fiddly bullshit than just doing what I'm
Well, it's a lot less
doing.
effort than coding it, that's for sure.
That is true.
But
I have not found a use for it that makes me, would make me mourn it disappearing.
I got a lot of uses for it. The primary thing I use it for a lot is basically between Delicious and Twitter, right? I got a lot going on. So, if I favorite something on Twitter and there's a link in it, it automatically gets Delicious. That's really useful. But anyway, so that's what this site does. But the reason it's a thing of the day is because now it is no longer invite only. You can just sign up.
Ho ho!
Not only that, but not only can you just sign up, but they remove the limits on it. So you can just make as many tasks as you want. It used to be there was a limit of how many you could have. Now you could have infinity jillion.
If my if this then that updates, update my if this then that.
Yep. And they also keep adding more.
What does it do?
I don't know. You can make loops with it. You can do Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, and have it go digga, 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 and you'll hit the API limit on both of them, and then you're done. But yeah, this site I imagine will be useful for many people who use a lot of different internet services and want them to all hook up. If you're the kind of person who has a Twitter and a Facebook, and you only really use one of them, but you kind of want the stuff posted on the other one, then this is for you. Yeah. So it also has a lot of weird stuff. Like it can do emails, SMSs, Posterous.
Oh, it's a cool thing. Don't get me wrong. I do think we've talked about this before.
I think we have, but it's worth bringing back.
So you've opened a door.
What door did I open?
So I can repeat a thing of the day if I think it warrants discussion.
I don't think it was a thing of the day. I think it may have been discussed, but I do not believe it was thing of the day.
So I can take all my previous things of the day and count them as newses going forward.
If they're new, which they're not.
But this isn't new.
It is new because it is now open to the public with no invite.
But shouldn't that be news?
No, because it's a cool thing.
So you can't talk about anything cool in the news?
I didn't have anything cool to talk about in the news.
So this has happened before, my thing of the day. Watch this video, and the whole time, just remember very clearly, these people do not realize what they do.
Who are these people?
So some high school football game, whatever. Someone had a big sign. You know how you trash talk, right? Like at RIT hockey. After we scored the first goal against any team, some brave man would hang a "Got Goalie" sign behind the opposition's goal.
Yeah.
At one point, a goalie turned around after seeing this, saw it, and started crying.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to that story, but he was crying and had to be taken off the ice.
We went through like 3 or 4 goalies in that game.
That was a pretty great game.
We went through goalies like Rim goes through toilet
Meanwhile,
paper.
I have a lot of respect for that Newman goalie because when the 23rd goal got by him, he did not cry. And when the 24th one went through, well, the game was over by then. So
he was never going to score.
So someone hung one of those, and what they hung was a sign that said, "You mad, bro?" Now,
excellent signage.
We're on the internet. You know what that means. I know what that means. Everyone knows what that means. These people think that it is clearly racist due to the mentioning of bro, which clearly refers to the African-American player on the other team.
Right.
Really, guys? Like, have you never heard of the internet? Like, really?
It's this. You know what this is? This is the niggardly situation, right? Is to where one person thinks a word means one thing and another person thinks a word means another thing.
This, however, is beyond that. Because niggardly, at least, is a word that is not used commonly, but this is more like jive talk almost. Like, "You mad, bro," is something on the internet that everyone knows what it means, and yet these people are so out of touch that not only...
Well, actually, what it is that most people are so out of touch.
But not only do they not, like, even think to try to figure out if there's anything else behind it, or not only does no one tell them, no kid
if they were smart enough to do that, they would already know what it means.
No kid is like, Dad, that this is just something on the internet. But... that they immediately assume it's racist and raise a brouhaha.
Well, I think it also was because this happened to be used, right? So the "You Mad Bro" was hung by a predominantly white school after a game against a predominantly not white school.
But to me, bro does not indicate African American. Bro, if anything, indicates
college
a
track
collar,
guy.
Pink-shirted ass.
Yeah, this is, a lot of racism, sexism, whatever, accusations. Not all, obviously, but many these days are due to a person saying something, not having any intent, at least at that time, of racism, sexism, any sort of prejudice or discrimination, intent whatsoever, but using a word choice that is interpreted improperly by the other peoples, thus resulting in, them thinking
but in this case, it really just highlights the severe cultural divide between internet people
on the internet and people aren't,
and everybody else.
Yeah, it's about 50 years difference.
Now, this happened once before. Not that long ago on Fark, there was a big funny article about it, but basically a pool got shut down. I think it was because someone pooped in it.
This wasn't the one where people died in it?
No, it wasn't. I don't even know what happened with that pool. I've been waiting for the follow-up article. But so a pool got shut down for whatever reason. So someone hung the "pool's closed" sign at the pool.
Nice.
And immediately the whole community was outraged at this racist caricature and this racist sign telling black people they can't swim in the community pool.
Why is "pool's closed" racist?
Because the guy in the "pool's closed" canonical picture has an afro, and I guess that is the closest link they've got.
That's true.
It is true that the man depicted in the meme for "Pool's Closed" happens to be an African American who happens to have a pretty bitchin' afro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
always
amused.
Was the pool not closed?
The pool, I don't know. I'm always amused when stuff like this happens because I almost just want to go to these people and be like, let me show you a world.
Yeah, right.
I want to be like Willy Wonka.
We
and be
almost
like,
need like internet classes. Like maybe that should be a show that's on network television. Like welcome to the internet.
They do things like that, but the people who do those shows don't know either. Those are the shows where a woman will stand there. No, the woman will stand there and be like, "Does your child speak in code to hide things from you?" Acronyms like LOL or ROFLMAO, which clearly has communist underpinnings.
Right. I think the other thing is there are shows on TV I've seen for like a few seconds here and there, while you're in like a restaurant that has a TV, where it's like all they do is show funny YouTube videos on a TV. Because for people who don't have YouTube, right? Or don't know how to use it.
Yeah, because everyone has YouTube.
Right. And I think that, those shows are just, the problem with them is that they're limited, right? They can't take you that far down the rabbit hole. They can just basically do America's Funniest Home Videos.
Well, you realize Know Your Meme
taking any submissions.
Know Your Meme does a good job of this. The thing is, anyone who knows what Know Your Meme is... That should be the show.
It should be Know Your Meme. It should be on primetime television.
The thing is, everyone who knows what Know Your Meme is doesn't need Know Your Meme.
But that's exactly it. What if Know Your Meme was a TV show that was on prime time?
So, have you ever watched Know Your Meme? Because the problem with that...
I've only... the
problem with
the
that
pony one.
Is that if you don't understand the proper nouns, I'm going to read for you what one of those sounds like to someone who doesn't already know the deal.
All right.
I was just going to read Jabberwocky because it's just gibberish.
Okay.
But people have no idea what any of this stuff is.
But as I'm saying is I could definitely make a show that taught normal people the ways of the internet if they watched it.
I have a second thing of the day now. So I got to find the picture again. I'll find it and link to it. You know the Tea Party, right? And all their right-wing shenanigans?
Yep.
Well, some enterprising young man made a bunch of signs and internet ads that say...
Lowercase t.
No. Politics got you bitter, and a picture of a lemon says, join the Lemon Party. Lemonparty.org. I feel like that is the first step.
I salute that man and give him an internet medal. If there was an internet government, he would receive the second best thing to the internet medal of honor.
Do you know how badly I want to print like 100 of these things out in color and just put them around New York City?
Right. You wouldn't get the internet medal of honor. You would just get the internet second, not quite the medal of honor.
He gets the silver star.
Yeah, whatever it is. for glorious service in name of the internet.
So very briefly, in the meta moment, we were at PAX. Most of our lectures are online. In fact, all of our lectures from PAX East 2011 are online in the GeekNights Room YouTube channel. The current book club book is The Ear, the Eye, the Arm by Nancy Farmer. I will finish it as soon as I can because it's just arrived.
Worst webcomic contest is a thing that exists.
The worst webcomic contest is ending soon. If you have an entry for the worst webcomic in the world, noting that you are an asshole for submitting, unless you make a webcomic yourself.
Yep.
And two, the craziness of the author of the webcomic, it factors in about equally to the actual badness of the webcomic.
The factoring will be entirely subjective on the part of us.
Two things. One, many of you have used this opportunity to force me to read furry pornography. I will come up with a way to prevent this in the future. And second, don't submit Control-Delete anymore. Okay. We got it.
Sure. You don't get tired of that joke, do you?
No, I don't get tired of that joke.
The joke was tired before you even used it the first time.
It's not the Scott Expo.
Sure. All right. I feel like there's another meta, but you can just if you're wondering, if you think you're missing something, you can just come visit us on the internets.
Here, you want some things? Our next big gaming or techie or anything like that panels we're doing are pretty much MagFest and PAX East 2012.
Awesome.
Yeah. Also Burning Con and all that, but that's coming down the road.
All right.
So, this is your rant.
Well, I think I've discussed this on the show before, but we had such a dispute about it last night that we thought we could extend it into a longer show.
It started
with an entertaining dispute for the listeners.
It started when I said innocently, so Scott, what should we do the Monday show on? I was thinking, and what I wanted to do, just so you all know, I'm curious if you're interested, I just wanted to talk about, way back we did a show on like the IT toolkit. Like, all right, what are the things you need to know? Like basic stuff, like, I don't know, piping output and stuff in a terminal.
I don't even remember this show.
We did a show.
But I don't remember most of the shows. So that doesn't mean anything.
So I thought I'd tackle a couple of specific problems that I realized the majority of people out there listening, even techies, have no idea how to use, like no hup or screen. But Scott didn't want to do it because he's a big baby.
No, it's because if you're going to do a show, teaching specific details of terminal commands, that's really a pain in the ass to do without visually showing someone the
Now, I
terminal.
argue no. For example, no hup. Ever have the problem, punk kids, where you want to run a program from the command line, but then like you log out or you close the terminal or something and it dies because the terminal died? That's because the terminal sent a hang-up signal that shut down the process. Because the process you started was tied to the terminal you opened.
Yep.
You SSH somewhere, you run like a gigantic gunzip, and then you log out, and then the gunzip stops. So you might think, oh, I put it into the background with the ampersand. No, still tied to the terminal.
No.
Yeah, either the only real good ways around this is one, no hup. No hup is magic. You just type whatever you wanted to type. And you put an ampersand and put it in the background like before. But in the beginning, before your command, you just type no hup.
The thing is, those commands, where you type something in the beginning, you can never remember. Like the time command, you can never remember.
You'll remember
to use the
no
time
hup
command.
because the terminal hangs up on whatever bullshit you're trying to do. No hup says no hang up. It can't be hung up on. It'll run to the end no matter what,
Great.
unless someone kills it.
Okay, but still, right? This is not helping people who are not terminal experts. And anyone who's a terminal expert already knows that.
I'm pretty sure that at least one person is going to email us saying, that really helped me.
Dude, if you need help with those sorts of things,
I'll give you $5 if you email Scott and tell him that this helped you.
Go to Google.
Not really.
Go to Google and search for like Linux terminal tutorial Unix commands.
That's not going to help because most people, the way they learn is they have a problem. For example, their problem might be
they don't know how to use Google.
No.
Dude, let me Google that for you. LMGTFY.
All right, let me try. I'm going to try Googling that if I'm an idiot. I'm going to Google for like start program, log out, program keeps running. And see what happens.
You're really bad at Googling. We already know this.
Scott, the people who are good at Google don't have these problems.
That's what I'm telling you.
And even then, if you don't know what to look for...
your show idea is a dumb show idea.
I think it was... All right, Scott, so what was your show idea?
I didn't have a show idea because most of the ideas that you came up with were A, dumb, or B, not technology. And this is a rant I had, I think, before on the show, is that so much stuff on the internet that is on technology sites is not actually technology.
So the news about the LHC or the stuff about fracking in no way involves technology?
It does involve technology, but per the definition of technology, but A, we are not deeply knowledgeable in those areas.
I've learned a lot about both of those.
By what? By reading articles?
Yeah.
That's not deeply knknowledgeable.
It's knowledgeable enough to do a show.
No.
I think so.
A show where someone's going to come and tell us how wrong we are.
Maybe you underestimate me.
Your ability to bullshit and pretend you know something when you don't?
It's not that hard to learn. You realize, Scott, take any realm of knowledge in the world. All you have to do is just barely scratch the surface. Just touch it a little bit. You know more than the majority of people on that subject and are now effectively an expert as far as they're concerned.
That's true, but they could just read Wikipedia and as opposed to us making a show.
But if they could read Wikipedia, they wouldn't need you. But they
wouldn't need a podcast where we read a Wikipedia page.
But
out
apparently
loud.
they need that. Because that's what they always ask for.
So Rim's doing a great job insulting all the listeners. What a great show.
Dude, you guys, seriously, the majority of shows you suggest are basically, you've emailed us and said, hey, would you read this Wikipedia article and summarize it for me?
Yeah. Read it yourself. Learn to read.
Anyway, it's fundamental.
I guess if you're illiterate, a podcast would really fucking help you. No, I'm insulting the listeners. But anyway, I complained, as the usual complaint, that so much tech news is not actually tech news. It is business news or, science news.
Now, I agree with you on that front, but GeekNights Mondays is very specifically science,
yes,
technology,
yes,
and neckbeards.
That's right. We don't know much about the science or the neckbeards.
But here's the thing: you weren't arguing last night that we shouldn't do these topics because we don't know a lot about them.
You said we shouldn't do them one of my
because
arguments.
You say that technology in this implied arbitrary construct means only Linux-related neckbeard computer technology bullshit.
That is the second
and not
argument.
any other technology.
There were two arguments that I had. One was that we don't know about it, and two, that when people talk, if you go to a tech news site, right, that says it's tech news, they might have bullshit business news about technology businesses, but it pretty much focuses on, the consumer electronics and enterprise computing industries primarily. It does not ever focus, because on any of the other things that are also technology, right? You can't go to, say, Slashdot and get a story about advances in some kind of new technology.
Actually, you
in
can.
medicine.
A lot of the news on Slashdot is non-computer tech news.
Not very much.
What do you need to read
computing
Slashdot?
related.
You don't even know. Anyway,
I just picked a tech news site at random.
I know.
The point is,
Slashdot was, you should have picked Dig, then you would have been fine.
Sure, Dig isn't just tech news though.
It was.
Right, but you're not going to go to Engadget and see something about, medical news, of medical technology,
All right, Scott,
or
front page
mining
of Slashdot
technology,
right
or
now.
construction technology.
Front page of Slashdot right now. Using cloud computing and Watson and stuff to treat cancer.
Yeah, but that's computing. Is still
All right,
there.
so but it's also biology.
But it's not talking about the biology. It's
Boosting
talking
battery storage with seaweed.
That's also consumer electronics related because batteries have a very large bearing on consumer electronics.
Okay, 50 new exoplanets found, billions more await.
That's just straight up science.
Which is fine.
That's not even technology at all. It's like we were discussing just before things that are technology. Per the definition of the word technology, but aren't technology as
See, but it depends, because, for example, what if that article is talking about the technology used to make this scientific discovery?
Is it?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
I don't even know.
Appropriations bill threatens future space science missions. That is the effects of politics on technology.
That is political news.
But it's also technology news, because if the government, for example, outlawed all technology, then I would argue that's technology news.
It is news related to
technology. In fact, it might be the last technology news.
But it is not raw. It is not pure, boring technology news.
Glowing cats.
Real tech.
Scott, making glowing cats. There's a technology
that's
to
biology
make
and science. There's nothing technological about it.
Yeah, there is, because the biology is understanding it. The science is researching it. The technology is fucking doing it in a practical way. And I have a glowing cat.
The point is, by those kind of arguments, you could say that anything is tech news. I could be like, hey, here's the scores of the latest football game. That's tech news. Why? Because they use technology.
No, it's not because they used it, unless the article is about the technology.
To keep score and to keep time and...
Now, if the article were about the technology, like say it talked about, a time, like a new way to score fencing with different technology that's more accurate, that's tech news.
That would be.
Or if it described how existing technology works, that's tech commentary. But if it was just the scores of fencing with no discussion of the technology, that's not tech news.
Yeah, but what if it was primarily fencing scores, but at one point in the article they talked about how there was a dispute over a point and there was a technological difference.
That is a seed for technology discussion, because you take the article and say, look at this issue, look at this technological problem which caused these ramifications outside of the realm of tech.
Yeah, but you go...
Half the ethics classes I took at RIT basically boiled down to technology bad if used badly. Look at what happened to society.
I took like 5
me
of those.
And play
I
God.
took 5 of those classes at least.
Yep, me and play God.
I think I could have minored in that.
Yep. We always talked about the
me
Laplanders.
And play gods.
In fact, I would say that the majority of the examples in those classes involved the Laplanders and snowmobiles.
Anyway.
Cleverbot and the Turing test.
That is a technology news.
Okay.
But the point is, a lot of the technology news is that are actually pure technology news, right? In the narrow area of the consumer, right? Are wicked boring with nothing to discuss.
So why do we even have technology as a show topic if all we're going to talk about is the fact that Postgres 9.1 was just released, bitches? It has serializable snapshot isolation, and I'll bet none of you know what that means.
I don't even know what that means, and I probably should.
I use Postgres. I actually use Postgres a lot.
See, serializable snapshot isolation. So I can understand what snapshot isolation is, but serializable, I guess... The snapshots are in order. You know what order they're in? I don't fucking know.
Here's the article. The serializable isolation level provides the strictest transaction isolation. This level emulates serial transaction execution as if transactions had been executed one after another, that is serially, rather than concurrently. Yep. However, like the repeatable read level, applications using this level must be prepared to retry transactions due to serialization failures. In fact, this isolation level works exactly the same as the repeatable read, except that it monitors for conditions where, okay, I don't think any of you care.
I understood it though now.
Yeah, but no one cares.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Real technology news is
but Scott, I'm going to undermine your argument. If that is
mostly boring.
If your argument is that is what tech news is mostly, and we are a tech news show by your definition, why the fuck are we doing this boring ass podcast?
Well, because we do the same thing that I complain about all the tech news sites doing, which is we often take business news. And
so shouldn't we do that? What's the other option? Talk about... I can go on. Let me go back into that Postgres article.
No, but if you go to a site like Phoronix, which
shit, Scott. It supports SE Linux.
That's good.
I've never seen anyone use SE Linux.
It's on by default in some
Yes, and you know what?
distributions.
Google for any problem and SE Linux. And the
answer is turn SE Linux off.
Yes, the first thing you will find is a tutorial on how to turn SE Linux off and never turn it back on.
Or at least every single thing it complains about, you make an exception for that thing to turn off all those features that are in your way.
I've never seen someone use SE Linux in production. But anyway.
I think the NSA does, and people like that.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it. I mean, I worked on Wall Street, and turning SE Linux off was standard operating procedure.
Yeah. It's pretty much security for
in
the
fact, I remember
paranoid.
a production problem once where someone turned it on.
Whoa.
That fucks some things
right, but
up.
see, this is what I'm talking about. This is real tech news.
That's not tech news.
That's
That's
tech discussion.
Scott, that's meta tech discussion, because you said, too.
It's not news.
We can't talk about what we do. Who says we're a news show?
We're not.
Yeah.
We just have news bits at the front.
We could have tech commentary.
We can.
Because that was my other idea. Maybe
you want to do a show about SE Linux? We just did it. It's over.
Yeah, because I don't have anything else to say about it.
Exactly.
Don't use it.
There's
It's
so many
pointless.
shows where there's a topic, and it's a good topic, but there's just not enough to say.
Now, we could talk about, for example, the kinds of problems I've faced in technology in the last, 2 years. I think are really interesting examples of what high-level IT is.
Yeah, but I think that I don't want to do meta shows.
Doesn't have to be meta. You draw from experience.
Like MC Frontlaw's latest album is almost 90% of it is about MC Frontlaw.
Like, Scott, here's a
and
problem.
while it's great music, it's sort of like
problem
anyone who
I had
doesn't know who you
recently-
are, get this album.
I have a big thing that does some MapReduce shenanigans and solar and
You
all
told
this
me
stuff.
yesterday you didn't know what MapReduce was. Did you read the Wikipedia on it today so you could
No,
tell
Scott,
me?
let me put it this way. I knew what it was. What I couldn't do is go into much depth on it because I don't really know a lot about data structures or anything. Because I'm not a coder. But basically, the problem I actually had was that the Hadoop file system done got corrupted.
Aw, shit, son.
And I had to uncorrupt it. You know how I did that?
The command that uncorrupts it.
No, there isn't such a thing.
Oh, okay.
So luckily, you don't put anything that matters in that sort of file system persistently. That's where you put the data while you're processing it, then you put it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So to bring it back, there's an edits file, and there's an edits.new file, and there's an image file. The image is kind of like a base image of the virtualized distributed disk. Mm-hmm. And then the edits files are the kind of like a transaction log. It's like a meta file system. So I replaced the edits log with a binary file with one blank line and just lost those edits, thus allowing the file system to pick up where it had left off before the transaction log got corrupt. And I lost some data, but I didn't need that data.
Mm-hmm.
Bam.
Uh-huh. So yeah, actually, you know what? I actually came up with a great show idea that
really?
this show's sort of turning into. We collect a whole bunch of those tech topics, like that we only have a minute to discuss.
Do them all?
And we combine them into one mega show.
We almost do it like Q&A, like, Raymond Scott, when do you use NoSQL? Dear listener, never, because you...
No, there's good times to use it.
There are, but the majority of people I've ever met...
They're using it because it's a buzzword.
Yes, who want to use it. They're like, yeah, I got like 100 megabytes of data, so I put it in a Hadoop to MapReduce it. I'm
right
like,
here.
Dude.
You want me to explain MapReduce to you? It's real simple. So here's how it works.
Don't you just... Sorry, let's see if my high IT explanation makes sense.
Okay.
So I
got a really great way of explaining it. So
I get a big data set, and I have some calculations I want to do on it.
Yep.
So hopefully... not all those calculations depend on other... It's not like one serial chain of calculation.
That's right.
So I break it up into as many chunks as I can and distribute the processing of those chunks.
Yep.
And then I put the fucker back together.
Right, but
that's what I know.
Which part is the map and which part's the reduce?
I'm going to say that map is figuring out the problem space, breaking it up, and reduce is reducing all the solution out of the condensate.
Sort of, right? That's pretty much all 90% right.
You realize that I answered that almost entirely based on
guessing
words
yeah.
and language.
So let's say you want to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, right? Well, you don't need to add the 1 and the 2 before you can add the 3 to it, right? You can add them up all separately. So what you do is first you map, and what the map does is it will break it up. So it'll say, hey, you over there, computer number 1, you do 1 plus 2. Computer number 2, do 3 plus 4. Computer number 3, do 5 plus 6. So each of these 3 computers does its separate piece of work, and then the original computer that did that mapping, it mapped the problem to all those separate computers, gets back all the answers. So the first computer says, hey, 3. The second computer says, hey, 7. And the third computer says, hey, 11.
It was just right.
Yep. So then the starting computer says, aha, 3, 7, 11. That is 21. And that combining of the answers is the reduce.
All right. I was correct.
That's pretty much how it works. So Google invented this in 2004-ish, right? So you think, well, how great is that really? Well, it's pretty great because you can use that for almost anything. If you can find a way to redefine your problem, right, you can get that problem to be completed a lot faster by getting a whole bunch of computers to work together on it. For example, you want to encode a video. Well, you can just break up all the frames. Say, computer number 1, render frame 1. Computer number 2, render frame 2. Computer number 3, render frame 3. And they all send the rendered frames back to the first computer. And it's sort of like BitTorrenting your work. It's like, hey, everyone out there, do a little bit of work. I broke up my homework into, one problem each for all of you. Everyone do one homework problem. And then it'll be, let's say you had 1,000 homework problems. If you did them all in order, it would take 1,000 times long. But if everyone does one, it'll take 1 long because everyone does the problem at the same time.
Now, of course, once again, the majority of people out there, especially if you're listening to Geek Nights, probably don't need that for anything.
No, but be aware that when you use computers that are big, they're pretty much all doing that all the time.
Yeah, but the real answer there is if you have problems with data like that, you just have to Google all the frameworks and figure out which one works best. And you know what? There's tutorials, and you'll have it running pretty quick.
Yeah, but let's say you're using something like CouchDB, and you want to do some work on your CouchDB, write a view. They actually make you write a map function and a reduce function. Like it actually says right in the user interface, like map, reduce, and you write 2 functions, and that's how you get stuff out of CouchDB. It's pretty crazy.
Actually, I like CouchDB.
That's all right. They're going to add this couch query language to it. Once that's in there, it's going to be hot. Because then you'll be able to do normal kind of queries, like give me all the documents that have a tag of this and order them by this.
It's so great for like rapid prototyping. Like you're writing a quick proof of concept. You don't have to worry about database schema. You just get to what you're trying to do with the data, and then when you're done with the prototype, well, now you know what your schema are because look what your CouchDB's got in it.
Yeah, once they add that couch query language, it might bust out with some stuff. All right.
So what should we do the show on?
Well, I came up with that idea, but I think I actually came up with another show idea.
All right, I'm game.
What if we did a show about benchmarking in general?
Oh, have we done a show on that?
I don't think so. We did a show on overclocking, but not benchmarking.
All right, that's the next Monday show. Unless
we could discuss benchmarking in a sort of, conceptual way.
Talk a little bit about the different
to any specific benchmark.
Different algorithms, because I'm happy that, Windows includes benchmarking now, though people don't often notice it.
Well, it's not really, sorta.
It is to a degree.
Kinda, yeah. But let's not blow our load on it.
No.
Too early. Save it.
All right. I kind of want to eat some food. So
I got to get my laundry from the laundry service.
This has been Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geek Nights is not 1, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geek Nights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geek Nights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.